In this interview with Jennifer Kolari, she shares the 4 steps you need to remember to calm your child and help them cooperate. I have found this technique extremely powerful because it is simple to remember, easy to use, and not only helps me with my interactions with my children, but also with other adults.
Behavior is never the problem. Behavior is a symptom of the problem.
So, what is your favorite technique or strategy that is working really well for you or your clients to help children to listen and cooperate?
I think the number one thing would be our pillar technique at Connected Parenting, which is the C.A.L.M technique. This is the ability to mirror, so to deeply attune to what your child is feeling and to work very hard to understand what they're saying and what they're feeling instead of trying to convince them that you're right. So it's basically using language and words as medicine. And then when you're able to do that, what happens is oxytocin and opiates and natural endorphins flood the brain, biochemically calming your child down and moving them towards healthy compliance.
So can you tell me more about using language and words as medicine?
So I break it down because it sounds easy, but this is actually a really tricky thing to do. And by the way, this not only works with children, it works on husbands and wives and mother-in-laws and colleagues and bosses, and it works on people. So there's 4 things that you're going to do when you're using this technique properly. I call it the C.A.L.M technique. So the first thing is the letter C, and this is where you connect. You're really using your body, your facial expressions, everything in you to demonstrate to that little person that you really want to understand what they're feeling. What is their message? What are they trying to tell you? Behavior is never the problem. Behavior is a symptom of the problem. So when you're really trying to understand what the behavior is telling you or what their words are telling you, what's underneath it, you're going to get somewhere. You're going to take your agenda, which is whatever you want them to do or learn from that moment. Don't talk to me that way. Hurry up. Do your homework. Don't hit your brother. You're going to put it aside until you've finished the mirroring technique. It's actually very important for children to have loving limits. That's what helps children to feel safe and more emotionally organized. And I always say to parents that they're not actually parents, they're substitute frontal lobes. Their job is to regulate, organize, prioritize, do everything that the frontal lobe can do because they don't have a frontal lobe yet. The next thing you're going to do is the A, so that's affect matching. So that's where the look on your face really has to similarly match the look on the child's face. Like if they're angry, look urgent and intense. Look, okay, tell me what's going on. And on my face is a very similar look. If they're sad, you're like, oh, tell me what's going on. I'm going to have a very similar look on my face. And that's where the mirroring happens. That's where the mirror neuron cells in the brain get stimulated. And that's how the oxytocin releases. And oxytocin is a hormone that actually blocks cortisol, strengthens the immune system, speeds up neuroplasticity, actually makes kids smarter. And you get the bounce back too. So it's kind of like a double medicine. The third part is the listening part. So this is where you use your words. You can summarize, you can clarify, you can paraphrase, or you can wonder out loud. So let's say you have a situation where your little one doesn't want to wear their raincoat. So the way that we normally do it is, honey, put your raincoat on. No, I don't want to put my, honey, put your raincoat on, please. I know you don't want to wear it, but you have to wear it. No. Mommy's going to start counting. 1, 2, and off you go, right? But you're going to apply the technique to this, and you're going to say, you know what? I know you don't always like to wear your raincoat, but you're going to get wet, and we're going in the grocery store, and you might get cold. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. No, I don't want to wear my raincoat. And you say, you know what? I get it. It's bunchy and it's kind of hot and you don't like wearing it. You told me last week you didn't want to wear it. So that's the summary. Or I can clarify. Okay, tell me why this raincoat drives you so crazy. What part of wearing a raincoat is so terrible? Tell me, help me understand. No sarcasm, just real. You can wonder out loud. You know what I'm wondering? This isn't so much about the raincoat, but it's more about where we're going. Like you really don't want to go to whatever, right? So you can summarize, you can clarify, you can paraphrase, and you can wonder out loud. And then the M stands for mirroring. When you've pulled all those things together, you've had a really powerful mirroring moment. And most of the time, the child is biochemically de-escalated, and they're going to put the raincoat on. They might be pouting about it. They might kind of stomp out the door, but they'll probably put it on. Like 95% of the time, they'll put it on. It's like a superpower. It's a parenting superpower, really.
So in the moment, it is really stressful. You need to get somewhere and your child is emotional, you are emotional. So what are practical ways that parents can do that?
So there's a couple of things. First of all, parents sometimes say to me, I don't have time to do that. But the truth is you don't have time not to do that. Because if you don't do that, your kid's going to run around and not put their raincoat on or refuse to get in the car or whatever it is. If you just take that second and invest in that moment, most of the time your child will then do what they need to do in that moment. So your brain will tell you don't have time. You have to just tell them, hurry up, let's go. But that's just going to make your child push back and double down. So there's a couple of things you can do yourself. One is to make sure that you're front loading. So don't just say to your kids, come on, let's go. Give them a nice window, 5-10 minutes, and say, hey, in a few minutes, we're going to need to go. And you can even do some pre-mirroring. I know you're comfortable and you don't want to go where we're going or whatever it is, so that when it's actually time to flow through the morning, that will work. Another technique that I think works really well, mirroring is always first, is to just act like you're going. If you start arguing with them, I'm not going. Yes, you are. You're going to get in a whole thing. Just say, oh yeah, we're going, and act like you're moving and get your coat on and actually start to move through what you're asking them to do. If they're old enough, you can just start walking to the car and they'll usually follow you. I call it stay in motion. Because if you stand there pulling your child towards you, they'll dig down and say no. But if you're like, hey, I know you can do it. I believe in you. I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to walk away and I'm pretty sure you're going to be following me. Most of the time they're following you.
Yeah, I find that definitely too. If you start walking, they see you in business and they walk with you.
Exactly.
Is there anything else parents need to know or be mindful of when trying to use this method?
There's another technique that's very similar called active listening. It's a technique where people say, I understand you must be very frustrated. I know you don't want to wear that raincoat, but can you hear the lilt in my voice? That's going to feel a little bit like a technique. And a lot of people and children will just double down. Don't say everything that I'm saying. Why do you say? It won't work the same way. There's a difference between saying, I know you don't want to wear that raincoat. I understand that you don't want to wear it, but you can hear where the sing-song in my voice is going. It's leading to, but you're going to wear it anyway. So with mirroring, it must be quite pure. There's no observational statements. No, it sounds like, it must be, I'm hearing that, you're feeling. It's just like, oh, I get it. You don't want to wear it. It's bunchy and it's hot. And you told me yesterday how much you don't want to wear it. And here I am again telling you to wear it. And then the kid calms down because you've heard their message. And then you get to say why they need to wear it. So maybe they're going to get all wet and you're going in the grocery store and they're going to be cold. The whole other element is sometimes you don't make them wear it. Let them figure out what happens when they don't wear it. Like you can pick your battles. So either way, you can mirror and say, well, why don't you not wear it? And then you'll figure it out. And next time, you're very smart. Next time you'll figure out what you need to do. I'm happy to let you figure that out. So that's fine too, right? But when it's something that you really have to do, mirroring will come in very handy. But you really should mirror as much as possible to your children anyway, because it really does build emotional literacy and emotional resilience.
Hi, I'm Sue from expertparentingadvice.com. Since 2021, I've interviewed the world's leading parenting experts to uncover the secrets to becoming a better parent. Before having children, I always imagined how great it would be to be a mom and to create a family full of joy, love, and wonderful memories. But after my kids were born, I quickly realized that reality was very different. Everything was so difficult. I needed help. I decided to find and interview the world's leading parenting experts to find out how I can get my kids to cooperate without yelling or threats, build a better relationship with them, and finally be the type of parent that I've always wanted to be. I asked more than 24 of the world's leading parenting experts one question. What is your best strategy to get kids to cooperate? Get your free copy of my book containing all these interviews at my website, expertparentingadvice.com.